5:55, and this is your Morning Rush. A federal judge just stepped in to keep dreamers from getting thrown out of the country. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program helps young people stay if they were brought over as children. The acting Homeland Security Secretary, Chad Wolf, suspended DACA back in July, but a federal judge just overruled that suspension, saying Wolf did not have the authority to do it in the first place. And this morning, Peru is without a president. The Latin American nation's interim president quit yesterday, and Congress could not decide on a replacement, and that leaves Peru in crisis after protests erupted when President Martin Vizcarra was forcibly removed from the position last week. Now Congress either needs to put up a new candidate or Peru's highest court needs to intervene. You can now get a private jet subscription at Costco. The subscription includes a $3,500 Costco shop card, a $4,000 flight credit, and guaranteed aircraft availability for the entire year. A 12-month membership will cost you $17,500. So if you have some money extra sitting there on the side, might be worth it. And sewage worker got quite a shock in central Athens. They found a bust of the ancient god Hermes still in good condition. The head served as a street marker, and according to the Greek Culture Ministry, it appears to be from around 300 BC. Incredible. No word on where it's going to go next, and that is your Morning Rush.